one. By the way, have you noticed when the unemployment rate goes up, oh, it's the weather. Oh, my God, yeah, the rains, the winds, the snow, the weather. When it goes down, hey, you got to give Obama his due. Sorry, I'm not playing along. You know, I'm the cleanup hitter. I'm here 6 p.m. Eastern Time if your affiliates carry the program live. If not, I'm here later. But I'm chomping at the bit to get on. So most of the other hosts who don't quite get it can get it from me. But they eventually come around the next day. Now, there's this congressman who I've really taken a liking to. I don't know if I've ever met him or not. If I did, it's part of a crowd. John Shimkus of Illinois. He just knows how to, and not in an obnoxious way or anything, he just knows how to focus in. And he does a great job at these hearings. And he is a member of the House Energy and Commerce Health Subcommittee. And there's Kathleen Sebelius, the Secretary of HHS, and he wants her to explain to him how they can double count Medicare. That is $500 billion that they say is going to be used to help Medicare, while at the same time it's counted for funding Obamacare. So you can't use the same dollar for different things. In other words, he's pointing out what a bunch of Ponzi frauds these people are. But here, you listen to the back and forth. First you'll hear Shimkus and then Sebelius. Cut 6, go.
There is an issue here on the budget because your own actuary has said you can't double count. You can't count 500. They're attacking Medicare on the CR when their bill, your law, cut $500 billion in Medicare. Then you're also using the same $500 billion to what? Say you're funding health care. Your own actuary says you can't do both. So my simple question, I have 26 seconds left. What's the $500 billion cuts for? Preserving Medicare or funding health care law? Which is it?
Sir, the Affordable Care Act is 12 years the Medicare Trust Fund, according to every actuary, and the $500 billion represents a slowdown in the growth rate of Medicare over 10 years from what was projected at 8% to a growth
so
rate
is it
of
Medicare? Is it using it to save Medicare, or are you using it to fund health care reform? Which one?
both.
Gentlemen, so you're double counting. I yield back my time.
There, she just confessed. Now, they put out a statement since from the monstrosity that is the Department of HHS. Wait a minute, we got to fix this. So her press person, wait a minute, let's say we meant this and not that. Let's fix this. So they're lying. And they're lying to senior citizens about Medicare, and they're lying to everybody about Obamacare. They're $500 billion off. They say they're using this $500 billion for Medicare. And they also say they're taking the $500 billion from Medicare to help fund Obamacare. And it's dismissed. Well, what's the big deal? The big deal is anybody does this in the private sector, they're going to prison. You're cooking the books. You're cooking the books. The difference is when a politician cooks the books, they do it out there in open, and they're said to be compassionate. It's an amazing thing. She is cooking the books. The President of the United States, he's cooking the books. The entire administration cooking the books. Ponzi's all, Madoff's all, and they're praised for it. They're praised. Is this society nuts or what? Now, to back up what Congressman Shimkus had to say, and we've used this before, the group Economic Policies for the 21st Century, back not too long ago, they pointed out the Medicare actuary. He's not a politician. He's a civil servant. So you leftists should like him. Wrote a memorandum on April 22 of last year calling attention to this, quote, double counting, unquote. Quote, in practice, he stated, the improved Part A financing cannot simultaneously be used to finance other federal outlays, such as the coverage for expansion under, I'll call it, Obamacare, and to extend the trust fund, despite the appearance of this result from the respective accounting conventions. In other words, the administration's lying. It's one set of money, $500 billion, used either to do A or B. You're not using it for A and B. It's either being used to support Medicare, or you're taking it from Medicare to pay for Obamacare. I think any 4-year-old could understand this if you just put out some blocks on the floor and say, this block right here can't be in 2 places at the same time, can it, Frank? No, Daddy. It's either on this part of the floor or on that part of the floor. It can't be in both places at the same time. In other words, money can only be used once. Since the Medicare savings is being spent elsewhere on expanded health care coverage, it's not really being employed to extend Medicare solvency at all. And to claim improvement in Medicare financing is to mislead about the effects of the legislation. So Shimkus, in his questioning, exposed Secretary Sebelius, and it's a damn good thing that he did. Now, we already know this. So what's the punishment for the secretary doing this? Nothing. She's going to be applauded. Now, our friend Michelle Bachman is going to be on Meet. Do we have our Meet the Depressed music? She's going to be on Meet the Depressed on Sunday. First of all, Michelle, be ready for this one. Will you here right now tell the birthers that Obama was born in America? Yes or no? Be ready for that one, because that's a big one with David Gregory. Isn't it your responsibility as a congressperson from Minnesota to tell those people that Obama was born in America? Yes or no? Gee, I wonder why my TV ratings are going down. All right, kill it. Thank you. In any event, Michelle Bachman and her staff have been digging and digging, and guess what they have found? They have found that the government is spending about $105 billion to implement Obamacare, and that members of Congress didn't know about it because it's all pushed around there. It's spreading the wealth. It's in this part of that budget of this budget over here, that little part over there. About $105 billion, they estimate. This is why they've been delaying the judge in Florida. I tell you, we have a rogue administration, a rogue president. They're lawless, and there's simply no question about it. The judge thinks so, too. At least he has a sense of humor, though. So, about $105 billion. And I'm sure David Gregory's going to be very interested in trying to figure out how a government can get away with this sort of thing. Concealing it from the American people, concealing it from members of Congress. I'm sure he's going to want to know the facts from Michelle Bachman and not try and beat her up with all kinds of left-wing little talking. David, ask her this one. Anyway, I got one. Get her on that one. Remember when she said this? Get it. Hit her on that quote. Hit her with that one. We'll see if he uses violent rhetoric with her or if he's a professional. Michelle Bachman, I want to know about the birthers. We had the Speaker of the House on here. All he would say that Obama was born in America. But he wouldn't denounce everybody else. Will you here and now? Have you ever been a member of the Communist Party? Excuse me. You're not allowed to ask that one. That one you're not allowed to ask anymore. Have you ever been a member of the Communist Party? Yes. Okay, you're approved. You can be an Obama staffer. Now, are you a Maoist, a Trotskyite, a Leninist, a Stalinist? Yes, and yes. Okay. You can be the domestic policy advisor. Next application. Are you a birther? Yes. You're disqualified. Are you a truther? Oh, a 9/11 truther. Oh. Well, you qualify for a leading role in Hollywood. Michael Moore film. Funny how this works, doesn't it? Isn't it? I'll be right back. Well, now, I'm really torn here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm torn whether to tear into Chris Matthews or ignore him, because I think sometimes he says things because he knows I'm going to mention him and quadruple his ratings from about 12 to 48. I had to do a quick math there. Got to do this. Here's Chris Matthews on MSLSD yesterday. Hat tip, Newsbusters, go.
And the fact is that President Obama was playing that other All-American sport, basketball.
Stop. Wind that back. I'm now wondering, Mr. Producer and Mr. Call Screener, if he's not Sylvia, the caller from New Jersey. Am I right? They talk so fast, like they're on something. Go ahead.
And the fact is that President Obama was playing that other All-American sport, basketball. He was on a championship team. There's a great picture. I'm looking great there. They won the Hawaii State Championship. All this is on the record. He was a regular kid who kept his nose clean, did everything right, ended up on the Harvard.
Whoa. Now, we know he didn't keep his nose clean. What was one of those stupid books he supposedly wrote? What was it called? Dream Dreams of my father? Or dreams of my fathers? What was it? Father, okay. Didn't he have two fathers? Well, whatever, I get confused. He lived here, he lived there, this the father, no, that one's the father. I can't keep track, and it doesn't really matter. But Chris Matthews. Chris, I'll have another drink, Matthews. We know he didn't keep his nose clean. He intimates at a minimum that he used cocaine. Don't you have to snort that up your nose? Honestly, I don't know how. I've never smoked a cigarette. Well, I've had a cigar, yes, but I've never smoked a cigarette. So we know he didn't keep his nose clean. Go ahead, Mr. Perdue.
Review, has a wonderful marriage, a wonderful wife. She got herself through Princeton, I believe. Her brother coaches out at Oregon State. Everything about them is 100% true blue American. They've done everything right in their life, done nothing wrong in their life. They haven't gone out and gobbled for money. They've done the right thing in terms of public values. Eric, I just want to get back to you.
Stop. They did everything right. Hanging out with that preacher, so-called preacher, right? The anti-Semite, hate America. That was the right move for 20 years. And for 20 years, he didn't hear a word that nutjob said. Very believable. And that man married him and his wife. Well, I don't mean married them, you know what I mean. Did the ceremony. Baptized his children. Out of all the churches to choose, out of all the places of worship to choose, Obama was attracted to Reverend Wright. Farrakhan's buddy. Gaddafi buddy. He did everything right, this Obama. So why criticize the man? Kept his nose clean, except, that little cocaine thing. But his nose was clean because of it. Okay. And hanging out with a couple of terrorists. We all do that. Ayers and his lovely wife, Dorn. Yeah, what's the big deal? People do those things. Kept his nose clean most of the time. Hung out with the right people most of the time. But he plays basketball, and he played basketball, and that's what attracts Chris Matthews to Barack Obama. He played basketball. We'll be right back. Brian, New York, the great WABC, go.
Mr. Levin, it's a pleasure to talk to you this evening. I just felt compelled to inform you of a kind of wonderful state education, city education at a SUNY, a CUNY college. I decided I was going to register for a sociology of welfare class. I haven't gone to a class yet. Tonight was the first time I went. We had a test. And she wanted to make sure I got the book. I said, no, I don't need to read the book. And I decided to start taking the test. And, there really wasn't, it was exactly what we expect. Who's regulating Medicaid? Where does Medicare come from? Define white supremacy and Judeo-Christian charity value system. And some of the things, they were tricky because I wasn't sure how to answer it. Are they looking for the right answer? Are they looking for,
Let me slow you down right there. That is the difficulty when you're actually trying to answer a question in a liberal institution. Do I give them the correct answer, or do I give them what they want? Go ahead.
You have to get the kind of grade that they want. I'm applying for nursing school. I need a little luck with that, but they said I had to take another sociology class. Something like 87 credits in psychology wasn't enough. One more sociology class listening.
Well, how'd you do in your test?
Well, to be honest, I just took it. I'd be happy to call you up next week when I get it back. She asked me how I did because I told her I hadn't bought the book, and I said, well, I at least passed. So beyond that, it's it's up to her.
Well, they usually give you at least 10 points for getting your name right, though.
As long as I got that extra 10 points, maybe I could get lucky. Maybe I got an 85.
We have a whole sociology, mentality in these various universities and colleges because they believe in social engineering. And for them, that's what sociology is all about, how to socially engineer, how to remake man.
The word social planning, we're all over the test.
Well, that's my point. Social planning, and that's we know where all that stuff comes from. All right, my brother. Well, good luck on your social planning. You take care.